Modifying walls is as easy as a double click. And to show you an example of that, I have a mistake on my existing plan. If I zoom in on the right-hand wall, you'll notice that this wall is 207.25 inch. My plan actually calls for a 227.25 inch wall. So I have made a mistake. I typed in the dimension incorrectly, which we're all apt to do from time to time. If that happens to you, it's as simple as a double click. All you have to do is double click on the wall. It opens up the wall properties. And now I can go into my length and simply type in 2 instead of the 0, 227.25, hit apply, and my wall has changed. Now, usually I get the question of, what's the difference between the OK and the apply? I clicked apply, which meant it saved my change. Matter of fact, it adjusted the wall and it took the two walls connected to it and moved them down my plan as well. And it left this menu open to keep working. Or if I would have clicked OK, OK would have saved the change and closed the menu completely. Let me give you an example of that. Under dimensions, we changed the length, but we could have changed the height. Let's say that this wall is actually a knee wall. I could go into where it says 96, type in 40.5. When I click OK, it not only changes that wall, but if I go to the top of the screen where the little square is, which indicates perspective, I can click on it. And if I zoomed in a little bit here, you'll actually see that that is a knee wall. Make a quick change like that. So let me go ahead and minimize that again, or turn that off. Now let's say we wanted to make further changes to our room. Again, as simple as a double click. I simply put the cursor on the wall, double click, and it opens up wall properties again. Now we've changed length and we've changed height. You also have the ability to change thickness and top alignment. Top alignment is where your wall cabinets would attach to the wall. So if your ceiling is at 96 and you typed in 84 for top alignment, you're probably using a 30-inch high wall cabinet. If you were using a 36, you'd want to change your wall alignment to be 90. That way it aligns it where you need it to on the wall. Now there's another feature here called thickness. You'd wonder, why in the world would I ever change the thickness of a wall? Well, let me show you a little trick that I like to use with thickness. There's a second tab and it's called type. The type tab allows you to take a wall and change it from a wall to a construction line. As an example, these two walls could be peninsulas. So you might have cabinets on the inside of the wall and you might have cabinets on the outside of the wall. So if I make a change to that, I could click on construction line and these two walls would become invisible, like a peninsula wall would be. But if I went back to dimensions, the thickness would still be 4.5. So if I wanted to put a cabinet on the other side, I'd still have a gap in between those. One of the ways that I get around that is pretty simple. I actually change the thickness to be 0 to begin with, and it will automatically change my type to be a construction line. Now, before I do that, I said that I wanted both of these walls to be peninsulas. There's a quick way to do that too. Windows has a feature where if you hold the control key down, you can actually click on multiple items and select them at the same time. So by holding the control key down, I have selected walls 4 and wall 5. And if I go to thickness and type in 0 and I hit apply, watch what happens to both of my walls. They both have disappeared. And if I go to type, it says it's automatically a construction line, meaning it won't draw a wall. The only thing I have left to do is make it double-sided so I could put either cabinets on the back side or maybe panels, wainscot or such. If I click on outside, it'll automatically put workspace on the outside so I can make a true peninsula. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply and save that as well. Now, the last feature I want to talk about is material. I'm going to go ahead and click on wall number 2 here just for a second. Let's say that I want to paint wall number 2 a Sherwin-Williams blue, or maybe I want to put a tile on it or such. Well, I can do so by clicking material and clicking on the browse button right here. But before I do that, I want to mention to you that I'm only changing wall number 2. I could change the entire group of walls by clicking on wall group. That means every wall would be modified when I clicked on it. So I'm going to go back down and click on wall number 2. And I'm going to say under wall number 2, I'm going to change the material. I'm going to do that by clicking on the browse button. it'll automatically come up with colors. But if I wanted to change it to be a tile, I could drop down here to tiles. I could even do custom material if I wanted, but let's say we wanted to choose a tile, a generic tile. We'll say something 6 inches or less, and I'll scroll down and pick a tile. Let's say that if we pick the Sevilla, there's the tile that I can add to it. Or maybe it was as simple as you wanted to paint it some sort of Sherwin-Williams blue. I'll go back up under my paints. I'll find Sherwin-Williams. Here are all my colors. I'll choose a blue, and I could choose Adriatic or Aleutian or Aquarium or Aqueduct or Aviary. Maybe Aviary is where I want to be. I'll simply click OK. And when I click the final OK, I can go back in and click on my perspective, and you'll see the results of my plan. I have a knee wall here. I have 2 peninsula walls, and when I add cabinets, you actually see peninsulas here. And if I zoom in, you'll notice that wall number 2 all by itself is Sherwin-Williams Aviary Blue.